right? So this right here is my why. And this was almost taken from me. This was me last year, this time of year in the hospital for nearly 2 months. I had all of the signs of the thing that I'm going to share with you that nearly claimed my life. And many of you are on this call right now that have met me through social media. And I would have never thought in a million years I would be doing this, but this was me. And if any of you are having any of these signs, right, of insulin resistance, I had them all. I had the belly fat, I had skin tags, I was getting like high blood pressure, cholesterol issues, all of these things. And this was what was starting to happen to me. Now, the way I like to explain insulin resistance, because in order to have an awesome, amazing opportunity, there has to be a problem, right? We have to be solving something of significance. And this was something so significant in my life that almost killed me. So the way I explain this, let's say that maybe tomorrow I'm going to go and have dinner with a friend of mine in Colorado before I meet up with Amarie and some other people that are business partners of mine that I get to work with that I love to death, right? And I feel so blessed to do that. And we're going to go to dinner and I may have a drink, I may not, and I don't drink anymore. So if I have a drink, one drink's going to be plenty for me. And I just need that one half drink and I'm going to feel pretty goofy, right? And you're probably thinking, what's he talking about? Well, let me explain. The next time I do that, I'm going to need more of that drink and then more and more because my cells become resistant to what I'm giving them. Well, this is exactly what happens with insulin. How many of you on here have been told to eat every few hours so that you keep your metabolism up? Well, every time that you eat, your body converts what you eat into blood sugar. Ask a diabetic this. And what happens when they eat and they convert into blood sugar? The liver or your pancreas, excuse me, makes insulin. And insulin will then grab that sugar and put it in certain places in your body. And we're going to talk about this. But the more that you eat, more frequently you eat, the more insulin you have to make. And insulin tells your body to store fat and to grow tissue, both foreign and domestic. And it also suppresses your immune system and it suppresses your reproductive system. You may know people who are having things like PCOS that we're going to talk about. But this is the number one sign. And if you've had any of these signs, I just want you to think in your mind if you know people in your family right now at a family reunion that has this belly fat right here at the front. Maybe they're gaining some love handles, but they're eating more frequently, they're eating less, and they're moving more and they're gaining more weight. This is the number one sign of insulin resistance. Then all of a sudden, the liver can only hold so much. And maybe you've heard of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. They're now finding this in 3-year-old children. Because once you consume enough sugar through foods that you're eating that have a high shelf life, and when the shelf life goes up, your life goes down, your liver starts to get fatty. And this will start to show up in your cholesterol panel as high triglycerides, which have a hazard risk ratio of 1.8, means you're 80% more likely to have a cardiovascular event. Also, on top of that, your blood sugar starts to get wonky. How many of you people on here ever get hypoglycemia or know people that you love that get hypoglycemia? You start to get hangry. I swear they made that commercial about me. Maybe you're hungry all the time. You can't quit thinking about food. This is because your blood sugar is out of control, but you just haven't been diagnosed yet with diabetes. But just hold on, because you can have high insulin or hyperinsulinemia, the research shows, for 15 years before this ever gets out of alignment. And you start to show up, you start to get headaches, your energy starts to drop, you start to get migraine headaches and headaches. I used to treat people all day long with migraines. You start to forget things. This starts very early in life. You walk into the other room, forget why you're going there. That's all blood sugar issues because your insulin can't regulate your blood sugar. Maybe you start to pee more frequently. Do you know people that are peeing all the time? But that's just supposed to be because you're getting older, right? You're supposed to wake up middle of the night. You're supposed to get arthritic joint pain. That's another thing, right? Arthritis, anytime you have a condition that ends in itis, that means inflammation. That means fire in Latin. And this is what leads to heart disease. And if you're diabetic, you're 80% more likely to have cardiovascular disease. And all of these things, PCOS, which was another major issue my wife dealt with for 20 years. She had irregular periods. It'd be every 3 months, 6 months. We had 2 miscarriages. It took us 7 years to get pregnant. And my wife had signs of insulin resistance. She was starting to get the belly fat. She had very little, but she kept getting skin tags. You see, insulin makes things grow. And she started to have to eat every hour and a half, too. She would get hangry and headaches and migraine, all these things. And this started to happen, and she could not conceive. And I'm sure that you know people right now that have the belly fat and the blood sugar issues and the headaches and can't remember things. And maybe they're having fertility issues and fatty liver. And this is a pandemic around the globe. Now, I'm going to have someone such as George here. I'd like George, before we go into this protocol, right? George found me on a social media platform. And George has had a pretty crazy story. I'm going to should I take the screen share off now, Amarie, as we do this? Or can people see him?
Ooh, yeah, like if you take the screen share off, let's do that. Let's take the screen
Perfect.
share
I'll
off.
bring him back on. Gotcha.
Let's pin. Let's pin George. Let me do that. All right. George, we have you on, and we're so
All right.
excited for you to share what was it that you experienced. Tell us about how you found this and what you have noticed so far in your use in your use of the product. Thank you.
Thank you. So if you understand yo-yo and yo-yo dieting, I'm the Filipino because that's the yo-yo group, right? I've been on every program, every protocol. In 2019, I couldn't read highway signs, and I started to do research. I asked Dr. Google, the expert Dr. Google, and it kept saying that it was a blood sugar thing. Now, we have no blood sugar issues in our family, top to bottom, any generation. So I was refusing to do it. So finally, on April 6th, I said, okay, fine. So I stuck myself, and the reading, Amarie came back and it said hi. And I don't mean hello, hi. It says hi. So I freaked out, and I did an inventory clearance of my cabinets and everything like that. And I went in, and I was pricking myself, and I went to on the 17th, and it was still like 300 whatever. I was really high.
Oh,
And the doc said,
blood
guess what?
sugar, your blood sugar was over 300.
But yeah, and that's just the start. I'll get to the punchline in a minute. So they said, okay. I said, what's that mean? Well, I had a 13.1, 13.4, A1C on top of a 300 something when they measured me. Now I was higher than that because it was like 2-3 weeks when I went in. So they're going to put me on a heart statin and 4 medications. And I said, no, you're not. I found a protocol. Now this was a protocol where you measure your food, you weigh your food, you put it on a scale, you're counting everything in the world, and it worked, okay, but it's not sustainable. And so I was on that for about 2 years. Now fast forward to October 24th this last year, and I went in and I was suffering sarcopenia, that's muscle wasting, and I was down to 143 pounds. And I went in to get my blood checked, okay, so I went in and they took it and I left. And unbeknownst to me, frantically, the lab and the clinic were both trying to get a hold of me all afternoon. And so I called them the next morning and I go, hey, what's up? They go, oh, you're okay? You're not dizzy? You're blind? I said, no, I'm fine. So you got to get in right now. Okay. All right. So I go in to the clinic and it was like an ER. They rushed me out. Are you okay? You okay? And I go, well, what's up? They go, well, your blood glucose. You sure you're not dizzy, faint? I said, no, what's going on? And they go, well, your blood came back at 834.
Your blood glucose was 834.
834, and that was fasting, Amarie. That was fasting.
Wow.
And my A1C was 18.3. So I should have been dead. I should have been in a coma. I should have been anything but playing golf and running around town driving, right? And they were going to give me even all these drugs and everything. I go, no, I've already kind of been here before. And I had found this young man there called Dr. Kenny on the platform. So God led us there, right? And so I was 834. About half a month ago or so, I was down to 90 as a fasting blood glucose. I haven't had my A1C done yet. That's coming up. Overall, since in my large to small, I've lost over 100 pounds. And guys, I had every symptom in the world. I was peeing every 2 hours, 24 hours a day. I had skin tags, back acne. My hair was loose and falling out. Belly fat. I mean, there was a nickname. I was like Mr. Belly's so big. Anyway, and one of the things that Dr. Kenny says is that my blood, because my brother said, I asked, what's my blood look like? And he says, well, George, if you take it and you put it in a test tube, okay, normally you have ketchup with a little bit of butter, and say you have maple syrup with a drop of ketchup. Wow. So anyway, the program works. I just finished today a 72-hour fast. My body fat has been decreased, and I'm down to 19.1. That was better than it was at the beginning of the week. Dr. Kenny knows because the scale does that. and my muscle mass has gone up from it was 29.0, now it's 29.4. So even in the fast, the body fat went down. I increased my muscle mass. Ta-da! There's my story. Fast enough. Have a good day.
I love it. That was incredible. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that.
George, thank you, brother. It's crazy, right? So this right here, we obviously, the reason of this, right, is we know this protocol works. It is patented. I'm going to show you this, but this right here, what we have found and what I have found is the vehicle that I always needed, the puzzle piece that I needed to serve others. And this protocol that we're going to share with you is not on debate. It works. It works so well, we guarantee it, but it has 5 patents on it. It's been studied at the Cleveland Clinic, the number one heart institute on the planet. It's clinically proven to reduce your LDL. It's clinically proven to bring down your triglycerides, your A1C blood sugar, as George was just telling you. And it's also clinically proven to increase your HDL, the good cholesterol everyone knows about. It's not only been studied at the Cleveland Clinic, but it's been studied at the University of Sydney that created the glycemic index. It's been proven at BYU to increase your GLP-1, which is glucagon-like peptide 1, at UNLV and Stanford, just to name a couple. We have around 24 clinical studies. It is safe and it's natural. My daughter is 12 and uses this. Kids can do this. They just don't fast on the protocol, and you can even use it if you're pregnant. Our products are third-party tested. The company owns everything. There's no white labeling. They check it for herbicides, pesticides, mold, mildew, bacteria, carcinogens, which means cancer-causing agents. And we guarantee it and want you and your customers and your family and friends to check your blood work because we know it works if you're consistent and use it properly. It is also cost neutral, which I'm going to explain. And we're now in 63 countries around the world. And we're Health Canada approved. And we're also in South Korea. Now, here's the protocol. There are 2 products. The Balance is the fiber, and it has 4 patents. And this is step number 2. We're going to explain this. And the Unimate has 1 patent. And when you're not eating, you're going to be sipping on the Unimate. And it tastes fabulous. I make mine hot in the morning. It's actually paid and replaced my coffee. I was at Starbucks and spent $6 on a coffee a couple months, just a black coffee. And it's replaced that. Also, step 2, when you eat your largest meal, you're going to use the Balance. Now, here's how this works. And you might be asking, well, how is this cost neutral if you're spending money, Dr. Kenny? Well, here's how this works. My wife had PCOS and she was scared to death. She was like, honey, I'm moving more. I'm eating less. I'm actually eating cleaner and I'm gaining more weight. And I hear this all the time. And it's because people don't understand how to control insulin. And everything we're going to teach you is how to control insulin. And here's what happens. You wake up in the morning and you skip the most important meal of the day that you've been conditioned to believe, called break fast. Thank you, Kellogg's, to sell us cereal. And that is break fast. And so when you eat, you break your fast. So what we do, we sip on this wonderful tea that helps us burn our body fat for fuel. Because when you eat, insulin tells your body to store fat for energy for later and to grow tissue. And so when insulin is low, the fat's got to go. So what we do is we skip breakfast and we sip on this tea and we sip on it all the way to lunch. Maybe you get to lunch, maybe you're not hungry, maybe you don't eat. I do 36-hour fast, 72-hour fast all the time. But anyway, let's just say you decide to eat a lunch and you break your fast and you eat. Well, now after you eat and you've broken fast, you're going to drink your second tea. And this tea is going to stimulate your own GLP-1. We're going to show you the science behind that. It's going to kill those sugar cravings that I used to have. And if I was around a cookie, I couldn't have just a bite. I had to have like 24 cookies. I was that guy. I thought a whole food was a whole pizza, not a piece of pizza, right? And so this is what you do when you're not eating. And then when you have your largest meal, you're going to use this fiber matrix that is clinically proven to reduce your blood sugar by 40%. And so it's kind of like spending $100 when you go out to the grocery store and you find 40 bucks on the way back out of the grocery store and you put that back in your pocket. And so when you do this, how much do you spend on breakfast every day? How much do you spend on snacks? We have people all the time now that maybe don't drink alcohol anymore, as weird as that may sound. They don't drink Coke and all these things, and they put all that money back in their pocket. Michael was one of my friends, and Michael said, Dr. Kenny, he goes, I'm not eating breakfast anymore. I was a medical disability. I knew every penny that I was spending. That's $8 a morning I'm putting back in my pocket, and I'm actually saving $70 a month. You see, the protocol cost $159 per month, and the company will give the person who subscribes a $10 credit and pay for their shipping and handling. So it comes out about mid $5 in that ballpark. That's what it's going to cost them. Now, this is how it's cost neutral. But now that you see that, even more important, I love this aspect as a doctor. You see, our products are in the PDR.net. And that is where doctors, it's like their Bible. This is where they prescribe medications from. And you can use our products because they're plant-based with any medical disease and any medical condition and any medical drug. And we are listed in there. So when you go into your doctor and you get your blood work redone and all your numbers look fabulous, and we hear this all day long, every day, you can say to your doctor, they're going to ask you what you're doing. You say, well, I'm drinking this tea. And they might think that's a little crazy, but you're like, hey, look it up. It's in the PDR.net. And here's the study right here on just the fiber done at the Cleveland Clinic and said such a product, if taken regularly, could reduce cardiovascular risk. Well, the last time I checked, cardiovascular risk was the number one cause of death. On a population basis, potentially decrease the need for lipid lowering prescription medications. Interesting. Wonder why you haven't heard about that. This is the study that was done at the University of Sydney in Australia that created the glycemic index. And when you use this protocol, it actually reduces blood sugar spikes by 40%. Ask any diabetic, whether a type 1, type 2, if they can reduce insulin use, what that does for them. Also, it's clinically proven to increase GLP-1 by 60 to 70%. How many people do you know that are taking those medications? Are you familiar that they're now causing people's eyes to rot? Do you know that they're also causing people to increase suicide twofold, tripling the risk of depression? Every 10 pounds of weight someone loses, nearly 5 pounds is muscle loss and bone loss, osteoporosis and sarcopenia. And it's increasing medullary thyroid carcinoma, pancreatic cancer, and pancreatitis, just to name a few things. And you can use this protocol and stimulate that naturally with the protocol. Now, this right here, some other testimonies, and we just shared George's. But if you're on this protocol and you've had a positive effect in your life, would you please type in the chat how this has helped you or your family and improve your health and well-being? Please type that in the chat. And then I'm going to go into what is the opportunity? What are we really doing here? And how can we help you help the people that you love? And what I will do is I will read some of these. Now, Michael Smith, 52, feels like he's 20. I know, Michael, I don't, what are you down? 75 pounds now? It's crazy. EMT, right? Amarie just finished a 50-hour fast. I know your triglycerides, Amarie, went crazy. And you went from what, like a 6 size to a 2 or something like that? Vicky Chadwell, this is one of my fan members, lost 30 pounds since January 20th. 62% reduction in her insulin, and she's a type 1 diabetic. Crazy. Guys, I don't care. Down Laura. Oh my gosh, Laura's down 26 pounds. No more puffy face, cortisol face, right? 40 inches of total loss. This, guys, I'm down over 50 pounds. I've reversed my fatty liver. I've reversed my cardiac AFib. I wake up like I'm 20 years young again, if you know what I mean. And it's just on and on and on. Best Scott has felt since 1992. Scott, how much you've lost? Like 70 pounds? Your wife's fibro, I think you said the other night, is better. 70 pounds. Depression is gone, and Megan Groth, no more migraines, inflammation, plantar fasciitis, gone. Eye floaters, gone. And Megan looked like a picture of health. That was a crazy thing, right? You'd have never thought that. John, reverse type 2 diabetes, down 76 pounds. His A1C went from 9.4 to 6.1. Crazy, crazy. Guys, anyway, the point is the protocol works. Okay. And I just want to show you some social proof, but we have all the clinical data to prove this as well. Now I want to share with you what has changed my life. And not only changed my life, but has helped me change the lives of so many others. This is like nothing I've ever seen. You know, you have an affiliate, you've seen all the movie stars out there. And those movie stars will push a product for a month, 2, 3 months. This is because they have an affiliate link. And once that link is over in 60 to 90 days, they no longer push that product anymore. Well, our company, our owner said, hey, let's create that kind of opportunity, but let's keep that link where it's available to anyone that just wants to share with customers. It's better than network marketing. When you understand the power of leverage, this is going to blow your mind. And it's better than franchising because when you have franchising, you need huge sums of money. I've done it. Cost me $250,000 to open a clinic 21, God, 20, no, 23 years ago now, 22 years ago. I can't even remember now. It's crazy, right? But this growing up, this is what most people do. This was my father, worked really hard. He was employed. And I watched my dad, 32 years on his job, get thrown away like a bag of trash. Didn't even get a watch when he was retiring, and they canned him. I saw that. My dad cried in my lap when I was 19, and I decided that I would never fall into that. I was going to open my own business. Now, I did the best I knew how, and we're all ignorant of something, as Roy Rogers would say. And I went and opened a business, right? I thought I did. I didn't. I was self-employed, and my father, I made a lot of money in comparison to my father, but Dr. Kinney had no time. And my dad had the time, but my dad didn't have the money. And so, what's worse? What's better, right? It creates stress regardless either direction. And our protocol even helps with that kind of stress. But anyway, maybe you're like, oh, I want to be the boss. I don't know what's more headaches sometimes, to be honest with you. And what I do now, I don't have headaches, by the way. But that boss, you work for someone. They're telling you when to be there, what to do. You have a schedule. What I found in my own practice is if I took a vacation, well, everybody else got paid, but Dr. Kinney didn't get paid. You see, if I didn't show up, I didn't get paid. And it was limiting me on what I could do and where I could go. Now, a few people out there in this world build something of scale. These are the Elon Musk, these are the Zuckerbergs, the Jeff Bezos, right? And they have these big businesses. But with anything, when you have a big business, you have a lot more people and stress to deal with. And they have to deal with things like overhead. You see, I have done that. I've had the bricks and mortar. I've had the bricks and mortar paid off. I still had to pay insurance on it. I still have to pay property taxes on it. I still have to pay all of that stress and overhead and FICA and Medicare, all the things you don't even know about if you don't own a business. And maybe you do. Maybe you've franchised before, like a Subway, and you get to write a check every month to that Subway company. We're going to show you what we do, and it's going to blow your mind. Now, you have liability issues, HR issues, you got to deal with people, there's red tape, there's all the things that I've had to deal with in the past, and I wasn't even that big compared to these people, obviously. And this is what we have. You see, our people, we have no employees. Dr. Kinney used to say, hey, would Dr. Kinney fire Dr. Kinney? I get to choose how much and effectively I want to be every single day. And we teach you how to do this in the mindset that it takes. And there's no legal to deal with. The company's already handled that. There's also no shipping. My God, is that amazing? I don't have to worry about stamps. And I went into the post office. I hadn't been in the post office in years. And I always buy rolls of stamps. And stamps went from $43 a roll to $96, I think it was. That doubled in like 4 years. And I'm like, what in the world? And so my point is, I don't have to worry about that. There's no overhead. I don't have a building. I don't have taxes on that building. I have no inventory. I don't have to hire somebody to do inventory. I don't have any liability. I don't have HR issues. I don't need a degree. You don't have, I mean, Amarie, I love her to death, but I always kid her. I'm like, Amarie was the dumbest smart woman I know. I mean, she was a rocket scientist and she was working in corporate America. She was getting her legs chopped out from underneath her all the freaking time and couldn't even drive her kids to school. Like, what is life worth, right? Like, you know what I mean? And so she was doing that for years until now. Now, you don't need a boss. You are your boss. You get to fire yourself every day if you choose to. And with this, there's no schedule. I work when I want to work. Now, problem with me is I love to work because I love what I do. So I have to schedule time off, but I love to do this. And there's no limit on the amount of people that I can serve. Now, this right here is the dream zone, is what I like to call it. Now, this is something that blew my mind. I want you to all think about this. I've been using Uber and Lyft for years. And I was recently in Huntsville speaking. I'm going to Colorado tomorrow and to speak with Amarie. And I get to work with the people that I choose to work with and people that are loving me and supporting me and pouring into me. What a relief. There's no insurance companies that I'm dealing with. There's no corporate BS that I have to deal with. And I figured if I can build someone else's dream, why not build my dream? And I was riding with this young lady who was living in Huntsville, and she was from South Florida, hardworking woman. And we were having a conversation. She goes, I was cleaning homes. It was very hard work. And I find in this country and many countries, people don't have a trouble doing hard work. They just don't have a vehicle and they don't know how to use a vehicle. We're going to show you this. And if you're coachable, we're going to change your life forever. And I said to this young woman, wow, you're entrepreneurial. She goes, yeah, I'm driving and I'm making more money than I was cleaning homes. I said, that's wonderful. I said, that's transactional. She said, what do you mean? I said, well, you might really like me, but as soon as I get out of the car, you're not going to probably see me again. Maybe on the way back, you'll see me, but I only come to Huntsville maybe once, I don't know, a month, once a year, something like that. She said, okay. I said, well, Uber and Lyft used to give you $5 or a $10 one-time credit. Huh. That's a single level payout. And it's a coupon. And nobody seems to have problems with coupons, do they? Right? Like, are you guys okay if somebody gives you a coupon? Well, our company does this, and I'm going to show you this. But they give it to you continuously. It's going to blow your mind. Now, I said to her, I said, well, what if you could gain residual income on me every month that I used your product like you're using your service? Would you be okay with getting paid every single month? And she goes, yeah, I'd be okay with that. And I said, well, our company gives a $25 payout every month that someone orders that product. Now, these companies up here do it once and they never do it again. And everybody seems to be okay with that. And once you understand this model, it's going to blow your mind. Now, this is something that must be ordered regularly. Also, too, it is available not at Costco, but at Amazon. But at Amazon, it's $235 a month. Through you, it's $70. It's $70 cheaper. And also, they get a 90-day money back guarantee through you. The company wants to pay us to love and support and share this. It's got a 90-day money back guarantee on the protocol. And also, too, it's fulfilled at scale by someone else that you don't have to do this. This is what I like to call the unicorn. And I study this thing every day. And the better I understand it, the more lives I'm able to touch with it. Now, here's how this model works. This is better, as I said earlier, than affiliate marketing and better than network marketing and franchising. You see, when you find people, here's how this works. You can make $20 to $25 of residual. That means every single month that these people order, I'm making $25 a box, and it's unlimited. So to do this business, you only need 10 of those people. Okay. And so if you get 10 people, you're going to make $250 a month. That could be a car payment for you or one of your children, right? Could be huge. There's some people that are making 100 sales a month. And when you make 100 a month, well, that's $2,500. That's a pretty nice house payment, isn't it? Maybe that's your retirement you're putting away. There's people on here that have 1,000 customers. My point to this, there's no limitation. Now, I want you to focus right here, just 10 per month. And this is the sweet spot. But let's say this is you and you see this vision I'm sharing with you right now, and you're like, wow, okay, I need to do this. And you get started and you become a franchise owner. And all of a sudden, you refer your friend Bob. And Bob starts taking the product. Well, you're going to make $25 on Bob. And what happens when you start taking this protocol? Your life changes so drastically. You look so differently. Your energy's so much better that people notice it and they ask you what you're doing. And you say, well, I'm just sipping on this tea and we can give you a bottle. It's really funny. And all of a sudden they're like, well, okay, I don't really care what it is. I just want the results you're getting. Where do I get it? And you share your discount code. Even as a customer, our company gives you a discount code. And so now Bob tells Sue. And what happens is Bob is getting a $10 referral credit every month that Sue orders. But Bob's not a franchise owner like I am or you are. And Bob has that $25 credit goes back to you instead of Bob. And then Sue is a mouth. Sue is a Dr. Kenny. She never shuts up. When she finds something that works, she tells the whole world. And she's got a couple friends named Joe and Jill. And they start taking the protocol. Well, what's really awesome is Sue gets rewarded for that. Our company says, thank you, Sue, for sharing that. You're going to get $10 credits on both Jill and Joe. And well, guess what? You as the franchise owner are going to get paid $25 on each Joe and Jill every single month. Now, Why am I showing this to you? In this, you get your own back office. And what this does is it shows you who's ordering every single month. It's showing you how many orders they have. And it's showing you who they've referred so that you can reach out to them and you can share your story with them. You can invite them to calls like this where we do the heavy lifting and teach you and them how to do this business. And we let you see where they're at around the world. I have people now in Germany and Australia and in England and all over the world sharing this protocol. And I'm actually able to make just a small piece, and we'll teach you this, of all of those people, even as I sleep. So I'm starting people that are in Australia that know people that are bringing other people in. And John Paul Getty, Getty Images, he said, I would rather have 1% of 1,000 people's efforts than 100% of my own. I showed this model to my little girl. Now, my wife is an OT, and for simple math, I told my little girl who's 12, Mommy makes about $100 an hour. So if mommy goes to work today, she makes 800 bucks. My daughter's like, wow, that's really cool, Dad. I said, yeah. I said, Daddy just did a live and I just closed 20 people. Daddy just made $500. Or did I? And she goes, well, what do you mean? I said, well, if those people order next month, Daddy makes 500 again. But if mommy doesn't go to work the next day, mommy doesn't get paid. She was like, oh. I said, what if one of those people come in here and they build an organization like this? You see, I can actually earn $10 down 3 levels on like thousands of people. And my daughter goes, are you serious? I said, that's per month. She goes, why would you ever go to work? I said, even a 12-year-old gets it. Now, I know this sounds very awkward to people sometimes because you don't understand the power of leverage. But when I saw this and I realized, my God, I can pour everything I know into every person and I can help them grow and change their life. And when you help enough people get what they want, you know what happens? You actually get what you want. But in this model, you learn to put others first. It's crazy. And you get rewarded for it. So here's how the model really works. This right here, you have 10 customers. This is going to help you recoup that investment. You're going to put an investment. I'm going to talk about that here in a moment. 10 customers is going to make you 250 bucks a month. You're going to earn roughly $100 a month and still pay for your product. And so you're going to create like a little ATM machine in your back office, right? Now, this is your little restaurant right here. In this restaurant, let's say you come down to my restaurant, Amarie, and you like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, it's a Five Guys and Fries. She's like, well, what is that? And I go, it's a franchise. Now, to do a Five Guys, you're going to have to invest about $500,000. That's a lot of money. That'd take a lot of time for somebody to be able to gain that kind of money, right? This is not that kind of investment. And I'm going to show you equity and balance. If you understand equity balance sheets, guys, it's going to blow your mind. But this right here, if I start this franchise through, let's say Five Guys, and Anne Marie's like, this is incredible. And she goes and buys that franchise. She can't buy that franchise through me. And she goes down the street and opens up the same restaurant. She takes half of my people. That's not very cool for Dr. Kinney. And I've had that happen in my practice where other doctors come in, I teach them everything I know. They go down the street and open up. And they take some of my people that I've already taken care of. Does that make sense? Not very fun. But what if I could teach Amarie this like she taught me, and I could show you how to do what Amarie taught me how to do? And as Amarie poured into me and I pour into you, we all get just a little bit of that value. This is how this works. And all you need is 10 customers per franchise. And some of these franchise owners are going to bring on 10,000 customers. Some are going to bring on 5, some are going to bring on 20, some are going to bring on maybe 100,000. It's insane, guys. But anyway, would you be okay with making small percentages of each of those down certain levels? Now, I'm going to bring on right now Miss Andrea. But here's how this works before I do so. You've got to use the product. You got to be a product of the product. Not only that, you got to get and maintain 10 customers. We're going to help you do that. And not only that, you've got to bring on one partner per month is what we recommend. And you're going to help that partner get rid of their 10 boxes and get 10 custom testimonies as well. Now, I'm going to stop this screen share for just a moment, and I'd like to bring on Andrea. And Andrea, if you would, please share what you've experienced through this process, right, in the business building and what you've learned with us, if you could, before we go a little further.
Sure. Well, thank you, Dr. Kenny, and thank you, Amarie. And I've been involved in the business, actually been on the product 82 days. The business a little less because I started the product first. Not the best move. Just jump in if I'd have known now. So anyway, what I have experienced, and I was an entrepreneur before within another company, I have been able to 3x my income in 2 months. I'm almost to the point that it's going to be 4x in 82 days. Guys, that is crazy. And it's not only just about the income, okay? It's about the impact. When I look at the impact, I've been able to 3x the impact that I've had over the last year in that other company. And what I found is the results, they're not just, oh, I have some more energy. The results are life changing. My cholesterol's dropped by 51 points. My triglycerides are down. My A1C is balanced. Guys, that is giving people back their life. And I've never experienced anything like it in the last 13 years of a previous health and wellness company. Um, Something else that I found, and I've been able to add team members, and I have team members who have been able to add team members. It's just people see we have a huge problem and this solution works. And you see it every Tuesday night on our science call, and you see it here tonight. We have systems that are in place. Dr. Kinney and Amarie, they're givers, so they give. They teach us exactly how to do it step by step. The back office is amazing. You're not going to lack for anything there. You're not going to be missing any tools. It's all integrated. It's all right there. We have tools that's going to build you as a person and tools that's going to build your business. Products, the real results, real testimonies, proven. As I think about this, who is this mission for? This mission is for the mom who's on a mission, who wants her family healthy. And maybe it's for the mom who just needs a break and needs something that she can be proud of and say, hey, I built this and this gives me a solid foundation. But then maybe it's also for the dad who's ready to take his legacy back and be able to bring in some time freedom so he can be with his kids. And maybe it's for the doctor who wants some freedom and the chiropractor who says, hey, I don't want to have all this hanging over my head, or the pharmacist who says, these GLP-1 drugs, I'm seeing these people and there's some major side effects. I have a natural solution. Maybe it's for the nutritionist that says, I want real results for my clients. So when you think, don't think inside of a box, think outside of the box, because we have something that's sustainable. It makes sense. It works. And it's true transformation, true health and wellness, in our little bottles to go. Quick, easy, the quickest, easiest thing I've done. So thank you guys, because I am excited about the future. I'm excited about leaving a legacy for my family, my children and my grandchildren in health and wealth.
Mhm.
And because you guys have said yes and shown up. So I'm excited and thank you.
I love that story so much, Andrea. Andrea and I we didn't know each other in another business, but we were in the same one. And I, like you, I replaced 8 years to build there. I replaced in my second month here. And someone told me this would happen, and I couldn't imagine. They're like, if you make 3,000 there, you're gonna make 30,000 here. And I was like, what? And I found that to be true. One of the things I love about what you said, and a question came in while you were talking, someone said, I don't want to reach out to my friends and family. And some people are excited to reach out to friends and family. They're excited. They have a network that they want to reach out to. And some people don't. Let's talk briefly about a lot of the foundation of this business, how we built on social media, right? So Dr. Kenny and I reconnected over social media. We were acquaintances. Andrea was also an acquaintance, but Dr. Kenny did not go reach out and call his friends and family. We have a really unique way of reaching out to people on social media. We do a lot of value videos on TikTok. We teach people step by step how to do that, and you're never left alone when you do that. And we're not trying to figure out, Dr. Kenny, how to do it. The code has been cracked, right? The code has been cracked and it's been duplicated. We are able to show people exactly what we're doing on social media. They're able to replicate it and get the results.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, when I came into this, all I did was what I was told to do. And Pam, we'll take that question at the end. Pam Potter asked a question too. And that was a great question. My wife, Pam, was like you. She's like, I can't fast. I can't, because she had PCOS so bad. I said, well, can you just sip the tea and see how long you can go? And then it was like, she went till lunch the very first day. So here's how this business strategy works, right? Here's 12 months of duplication. Okay. So the way this works, and this may lose some of you, and I'm way beyond this, and Anne-Marie can verify this. And all I did was what I was instructed to do. And I come to work every day and I work for myself and my team. And I work on building my team. But this is how this works. When you buy into this franchise, the company sends you 10 boxes for the price of nine. So you already have a positive equity position. Okay, so if you're just going to take the product, it just makes sense, but you already have more equity in what you're purchasing than what you spent. You're already in the black. They call it Black Friday because it takes that long for businesses to get in the black and out of the red, just so you know. And so this right here, in the first month, we're going to help you get rid of those 10 boxes. You're going to recoup your money. That's wonderful. If you do this and get rid of those 10 boxes by sharing this testimony, we're going to help you do this and reach out to people, both social media and maybe just your warm market, people that you know and love. We'll help you craft messages to do this. And when you do this, if you do this and bring on a partner each month, and if you've done this thing, you can help others do this thing. And if you know people that have high blood pressure, that need to lose belly fat, that are always tired, always have arthritic joint pain and cholesterol issues, then you can do this business and we'll show you how. And I just got sick of seeing the people I love be sick. And so that's why I got involved. And if you do this for 4 months and you bring on a partner one a month and you help them bring on a partner and you each help them sell those boxes, you're going to be earning about $1,400 a month and you're going to get free travel. I was actually offered in my very first month to go to Vietnam, and I can't even remember the other one, Amarie. I mean, you remember what it was, but they were going to fly me. I qualified. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just passion on fire, wanting to save lives. And if you do this same business and you duplicate in what you do, your team is going to do. And if you do those things, you'll be making in 7 months about $8,000 a month. That's $96,000 a year. That's life changing for about anybody that I know. And on top of that, maybe you're just somebody you didn't have enough money put away for college, right, Amory? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, shoot, we were putting money away, but we didn't have enough,
Well, just it
right?
costs a lot more than you thought it did.
Absolutely right. And so you're like, man, I got to do something, right? And Anne-Marie turned her side hustle into her main hustle. And now she travels the world and does what she wants. And maybe you do this for 9 months and now you're making the top 1% of the country. And I can honestly tell you, I nearly doubled that. And I don't even know how long I've been doing this. What, 7 months, I think, Anne-Marie? And this right here, if you go 11 months and you duplicate this perfectly, you're making almost $100,000 a month. Now, I know that might sound crazy. And let's say you screw it all up. Let's say you only do 10% right. That's roughly $10,000 a month. What if you only do 1% right? That's 1,000. And what if you took 3 years to do just this right here? In 3 years, it's going to be 2028 anyway, isn't it? So why not invest in yourself with proven strategies to help you do this? Now, here's how this works, right? So the Feel Great set, normally, if you bought 10 boxes individually, it'd be 1,700 bucks. When you do this, it's going to cost you 1565. It's going to unlock the potential to make $25 an order and unlimited on all of your customers. You're going to build stories immediately, and we're going to help you do this. And also what it's going to do, it's going to help you, we're going to help you mentor. I do Zoom calls every day with my team at 10 a.m. Eastern till 11. And I teach all these strategies. We teach you how to do social media. So maybe you don't want, right, to, I don't know, reach out to your family and friends like Anne-Marie said, but you're willing to do social media. We teach you how to do this. We do product mentoring. We do business mentoring. You're working with multi-millionaires. You know, the Bible says right? Good person destroyed by bad character. If you're hanging around bad people, you're going to become a bad person. If you hang around millionaires, you're going to become the sixth millionaire if you're five, right? If you're hanging around billionaires, you'll be the next. Who you hang around matters. This is why you only have your kids hang around certain people growing up. And we teach you social media. So again, the success formula, if you really want to supercharge this, you're going to do social media. If you'd have told me I was going to be doing TikTok videos and lives, I'd have told you I was crazy. You're crazy. And now I have built a massive following around the globe with this expertise from people above me. And I came into this humbly and was willing to learn. You're going to get 24 months of coaching. We do these every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. You're going to have access to all the recordings. You're also going to have a Facebook group that's going to love on your customers. It's going to help you with this and guide you. We're going to have monthly science calls every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. This is where you can invite your family and friends, guys. It's genius. I mean, it literally will have 4, 5, 600 people or more on these calls. All these people getting to see the results, right? And then we also do these opportunity calls every Thursday night. All you have to be able to do is invite your family and friends and people that you meet, and we'll teach you how to do this. Also, you have a training site with all the skills you need that you have access to as soon as you become a partner with us. You'll have 9 scripts on how to get rid of your 10 pack. We also have 8 scripts how to set up each partners, like opportunities to meet and speak with new partners. We have an objection playbook. We know what you're going to be, people questions they're going to ask. We're going to help you through that. And there's 100 video testimonials that we have, guys, and it grows by the day. Also, too, content creation. We have Trent in both Rav. We have their social media help. I've got videos with millions of views from these gentlemen. You are literally making digital real estate that's playing for you 24 hours a day, 365 days a year for the rest of your life, guys. And when you understand that, it's mind blowing. We're going to teach you how to record and edit these things. We're also going to give you permission to copy what we're doing. We know that it works. We have lead magnets where we teach women how to fast if they're not in menopause and they're still having a menstrual cycle, and also foods that you can consume that were low glycemic index and don't spike your insulin as high. These are ways you can build your email address accounts, right? So these are some people that have had success. But if you're in this business right now, new or old or whatever in between, if you have 10 customers or more, would you please just type in the chat 10 customers if you're doing this? And if you're ready to do this, then whoever brought you to this call, I want you to ask them for the link. Say, send me the link. Amarie, if you would, I'd like you to, just kind of fill in any spaces, maybe things that I've missed, any questions that people may have. We can touch base on that as well.
Well, one of the things that comes to mind, Dr. Kenny, when I see this group of diverse people is that what we've learned is that different people resonate with different people. And so there are still only a couple thousand people that are doing this business in North America. So there's not, once you start seeing us on social media, the algorithm will send you more. So it might feel like there's more, but there's still just a tiny fraction of us. People are attracted to Dr. Kenny for, the people are attracted to Dr. Kenny, people are attracted to me for other reasons, people are attracted to different people. And so you can see that we have had all different age groups, right? Stay-at-home moms making now a living, buying a new house. We have a couple of medical doctors that have joined our team. Some of them have gone full-time, some of them still doing it, adding it to their practice. But you can see that.
Some that have left medicine, by the way.
Yeah, there's a couple doctors on my team that walked off, they're walked off their jobs and they do this full time if that's something that you're looking for. We're missing a couple places. We don't have a professor yet. We do have a dentist. We're looking to fill the gaps across the nation as well. I love that. So to get some, we have, I think one thing, Troy Hatch is on. He's built a very successful business. I was just out in Las Vegas with him, where we, got a chance to build with some doctors that saw him on social media and are taking a business that they've been building with seminars and inviting people into that. So a lot of different ways that we're having success in this business. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been mind blowing for me. I mean, to go from where I was, and I told my wife what I was going to do when I started this, and my wife was like, "Okay," like just kind of, like, "All right," and then she saw what I created last month
Mhm.
with the help of my team, and she was blown away.
Mhm.
And my wife is now retiring again, so
Mhm.
she can be at home with our kids. So, whatever you're looking for. It's like the old man and the starfish. I love this story. I think we can end on. And there was a young man, and he was dancing on the coast, and he can't see much. There's this prism of light coming at him, and he's singing and dancing, having a blast, and he's throwing starfish back in the ocean. And this wise philosopher poet's walking up the beach, and he sees this, and he says, "Well, young man, what are you doing?" He goes, "Well, I'm throwing starfish back in the ocean. They're all sick. They're all damaged, right? They're all got insulin resistance, every freaking one of them. They're all dying." And he goes, "Well, young man, you could do that the rest of your life, and it wouldn't make a dent." And the young man paused, just like I paused, and he looks at the starfish, and I wonder how many people he killed as he waited, waiting for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. The perfect time is now. And the young man looks at the starfish and he throws the starfish back in the ocean. And he said it made a difference to that starfish. If I hadn't done a video, most of the people on this call wouldn't be here. If Amarie hadn't reached out to me, that would have never happened. Sue was going into a nursing home. Scott, God bless him, his friend gets off insulin in 2 weeks. Andrea, I mean, it's crazy. John was getting ready to lose a leg, possibly die. The stories are endless. And so, whatever it is that's holding you back in fear, my mentor Bob would always say, stop tiptoeing through life trying to make it safely to death. It's not a practice run. And if you do what we teach you, you're going to need a telescope to look back in 6 months to see how far you've come. And if you're willing and you're ready, and if you're not, that's fine. But if you are, we will teach you how to change your life in the history and trajectory of your family's life. And this thing is coming and it's a rocket ship. And you can decide to ask where your seat is, or you can jump on the rocket ship. But I urge you, don't miss the rocket ship because I don't have time and I nearly died last year twice. And I understand how important life is, like I've never understood in my life. And it has made me understand to take action immediately. My little girl is my compass. And I've realized that she's watching everything that I do, and I am the example, and you can become the example. So, Emery, thank you. Any questions people have, reach out to the person that brought you to this, ask them for the link. They will lock arms with you and they will help you change your life. God bless everyone.
Thank you. Good night.